The Galactic Council chamber hummed with the usual cacophony of 1,000 different species, each communicating in their own peculiar way. Melissa Chin stood at the entrance of the massive station, her boots maglocked to the deck plating as she waited for the atmospheric processors to adjust to her biosignature. Beside her, Everett Kane checked his tablet one more time, reviewing the presentation they'd spent 3 months preparing. "Ready?" Melissa asked, glancing at her partner. Everett nodded, though his jaw was tight. "As ready as we'll ever be. Just remember, we're here to prove Earth deserves a seat at the table." The doors hissed open, and immediately, the weight hit them. Or rather, the lack of it. The station maintained a standard galactic gravity of 0.4 g, comfortable for most species, but to the two humans, it felt like walking on the moon. Melissa took her first step, and her boot came down with more force than she'd intended. The deck plate beneath her foot groaned, a hairline fracture spreading from the point of impact that a ripple of sound moved through the chamber. Clicks, whistles, and what might have been laughter from the assembled delegates. A Vraxian diplomat, its chitinous body gleaming under the station lights, leaned toward its neighbor, a gelatinous quell. "Did you see that? Their world's gravity is so weak they can't even control their own movements." Melissa's cheeks burned, but she kept her expression neutral. Everett placed a steadying hand on her shoulder as they made their way to the central platform. Every step was a calculated effort. Too much force, and they'd damage the floor. Too little, and they'd bound like children on a trampoline. The High Arbiter, a towering Krell with scales that shimmered between purple and gold, raised one of its 6 arms for silence. "The delegation from Earth requests membership in the Galactic Council. They claim their species has achieved sufficient technological advancement and cultural maturity to join our ranks." The Arbiter's tone suggested deep skepticism. "Humanity, you may present your case." Everett stepped forward, projecting the holographic display from his tablet. Images of Earth's achievements filled the air: fusion reactors, quantum computers, the first successful FTL prototype. "Honored delegates, humanity has overcome countless challenges to reach this moment. We've ended global conflicts, cured diseases that once ravaged our population, and developed technology you stole from the Dalarian survey ship that crashed on your world," interrupted a Dalarian representative, its 3 eyes narrowing in accusation. "We reverse-engineered components, yes," Melissa interjected, her voice calm but firm. "Just as the Dalarians reverse-engineered precursor technology, and the Vraxians adapted Salian weapon systems. Progress builds on the shoulders of those who came before." A murmur of grudging agreement rippled through some sections of the chamber, but the Vraxian delegate rose from its seat. "The issue is not your technology, but your biology. Your world's pathetic 1G gravity has left you weak, fragile. You cannot even walk properly in standard conditions without breaking our infrastructure." It gestured at the cracked deck plate. "How can such delicate creatures contribute to a council that spans hostile worlds, deadly environments, and combat situations that would crush your brittle bones?" Melissa felt something snap inside her, not physically, but mentally. She'd endured months of dismissive comments, condescending lectures about humanity's adorable attempts at spaceflight, and now this. She looked at Everett, who gave her the slightest nod. They discussed this possibility. They had a backup plan. "You want to see what Earth's gravity made us?" Melissa asked, her voice echoing through the chamber. "You think 1G made us weak?" Before anyone could respond, she disengaged her maglocks and jumped. In the 0.4G environment, she soared toward the ceiling, easily clearing 15 meters. But it was her landing that made the entire chamber fall silent. She came down with the full force of a human body evolved to operate in Earth's gravity, and the deck plate didn't just crack. It shattered. Fragments of advanced composite material exploded outward as her boots punched clean through, embedding 6 inches deep into the sublayer. Alarms shrieked. Emergency force fields shimmered into existence around the breach. And Melissa stood in the center of the destruction, unmoved, her expression deadly serious. "Earth's gravity didn't make us weak," she said into the stunned silence. "It made us strong. Every species here evolved in comfort, low gravity, easy conditions. You build your ships and stations to accommodate your fragility. But humans," She pulled her boot free from the ruined deck with a screech of tortured metal. We carry the weight of our world in every cell of our bodies. Everett stepped beside her, his own maglocks disengaged. You want to know why you should accept humanity into the council? Because when your ships venture into high-gravity worlds to mine resources, you need exosuits and mechanical augmentation. We just need a breather mask. He paused, letting that sink in. Because when your soldiers tire after hours in combat armor, human marines are just getting started. Because every day on Earth is training that none of your species can match. The Vraxian delegate's mandibles clicked nervously. You could have damaged critical systems. You could have caused a hull breach. But we didn't, Melissa said. Because despite our strength, we have control. We have precision. We've spent our entire evolutionary history learning to be gentle in a world that demands power. She looked around the chamber, meeting the eyes, or eye stalks, or photoreceptors, of every delegate present. You laughed at Earth's weak gravity. You should have been afraid of what it created instead. The High Arbiter was silent for a long moment, its scales shifting through colors that Melissa's translator couldn't interpret. Finally, it spoke. The council will recess for deliberation. The human delegation will wait for our decision. As they were escorted from the chamber, Melissa could hear the frantic discussions erupting behind them. Everett grinned despite himself. Well, that's one way to make an impression. Did you see their faces? Melissa whispered back. They finally understand. We're not the fragile newcomers they thought we were. 3 hours later, the decision came through. Earth's application was approved, unanimously. But it came with a new designation in the galactic database, one that would follow humanity throughout the stars, Death World species. Handle with extreme caution. Melissa and Everett couldn't have been prouder.